Go. Hey guys, welcome to the RCC Media YouTube channel. Today with us we have Vice Captain of the RCC Trailblazers, Mr. Surya Rainidi. What's up, Surya? How are you today?
What's up? I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good too. So before we begin, I would like to tell our viewers we have Surya here because unfortunately Nikit couldn't make it to the interview. He wasn't available. Yeah, but we'll have an interview with him later. But now let's talk to Surya. So, Surya, my first question to your team, the auction. What are your feelings about it? Because it wasn't good.
I feel like, yeah, Nikit, I really like Captain Nikit's strategy to save up for Arjun. As you guys know, Arjun is a pretty good all-rounder, very good bowler, and his batting has been consistently getting better. I feel like, unfortunately, with Syme deciding to spend that big fund to get Arjun, unfortunately, we had to compromise and get the next best player we believed, which was Deepish. We really believe that we could have used Deepish's spin to its maximum capability and help develop him as a player. Also, we haven't really seen him bat that much, but from what I've seen playing with him in Lavalita, I can see some batting like capability and potential that he has. Obviously, it didn't go our way when Simon decided to spend that money on picking up Arjun. Obviously, Arjun would have been a great factor to add to our team, but unfortunately, we have to do our best to compromise. And I believe that ultimately choosing Deepish over RF was the right decision.
Okay. Yeah, but and let's talk more about Deepish. So Deepish, as you know, is considered not a super consistent player. He's so inconsistent, and his bowling too sometimes is not good, to be frank. So how are you going to utilize him?
So yes, from Deepish, we've actually seen a lot of improvement in his spin. He's actually been getting a lot of wickets, as you know, in Game Three of that series game. He actually did really good. His spin performance was very low. I think he got Vedansh out. So he got somebody else out too. So hopefully we can help develop his spin to sort of act as a spin tech. And then Nikit will probably use more pace. As you know, we have no pace bowlers right now. Since Nikit has actually shown potential as a pace before, we might use him for pace right now. For Deepesh batting, he's not gotten a lot of opportunity. I believe that he can be a good hitter. He has good power from what I've seen in La Vida. Hopefully, we can help develop that. But you're right, Deepesh has been inconsistent, and hopefully, he'll turn the tide around in this auction.
Okay, yeah. So now let's come to you. So how are you going to, if situations or a situation, you will probably need to bowl as well. So how are you going to bowl?
Yeah, obviously, since obviously there's a situation where we only have three players, and obviously if some encore players don't come towards us, I'll obviously have to bowl. Yeah, I guess obviously I'm not really accustomed to bowling, so spin would be a little harder for me. So I'll just stick to try and bowling medium pace. Obviously, while working on my pace, I'll obviously also work on my length. Since me bowling is probably a very high statistic, I'll obviously also be focusing on that instead of batting, which is what I normally do. So yeah, I'd obviously need to put some time towards bowling and perfecting my pace while also making sure the balls are not all wides like they have been.
Okay. And so as you know, our organizers have also organized some pre-games like practice games. So how are you guys planning to utilize those kind of games? What would be
Yeah,
the
obviously we're considered a very underdog team by everybody. Actually, not underdog. We're considered like we're considered like the worst team, like three good teams and the worst
yeah, yeah.
team. So hopefully we can use that sort of match to prove everybody wrong, to help develop our players. So we're gonna experiment a little bit, as I said before. We don't really have like a pace attack, so we're gonna experiment with Nickett trying to bowl some overs of pace, Deepish trying to bowl one over a pace. So obviously we need to incorporate some sort of pace attack. So one of them would obviously need to try to bowl pace. Obviously, Nikit and Deepish are custom spinners, so we'll also test that to see how it goes. Overall, we're really also trying to see how our batting will line up. Obviously, our batting is also a major issue. So maybe seeing like, oh, if we bat first, how does our performance go? What needs to be improved? Is there going to be a consistency issue? So hopefully trying to find the issues in a warm up with a very unexperienced team like ours and trying to hopefully fix them for future games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so recently there was an article, a reflection on the auction by Mr. Abiram Gadiraju, which quote unquote said, "This is the this team is the worst one ever in this tournament, and I rate it at a solid 2.5 out of 10 in terms of competitiveness." So, what do you think about that statement? Does it make sense to you? Does it not?
I don't think that makes sense. On a paper perspective, it might seem that okay, we don't have experienced players, but I believe that we have the potential to be great. As I said with Deepish, he has the potential to bowl a really good spin attack. I believe that we have the best spin attack, something that's very underrated to have. We have Nikit and Deepish. I feel like our bowling is underrated, and I feel like our batting will also be underrated. I feel like Deepish will take a step up. Obviously, Nikit, remember Nikit's first. I like Nikit's first game batting. Obviously, like lately, he's been hitting scores like 2 off 7, 3 off 9. It's been inconsistent, but hopefully, we can get him back to that performance he had in the beginning, where he was like hitting consistently. And me, it's all about consistency. I hope to take a step up. As you know, in the past, I've been also a little iffy, inconsistent. Hopefully, finding the right balance. I believe that I'll also be able to prove everybody wrong. I feel like we could be a very balanced and solid team with Nikit and Deepage acting as the bowlers, and then I can act like the solid batsman for our team. I think we will do good in this tournament.
Okay, and so and again, what do you think about your what do you call it? Your group that you have been matched up against. Obviously, you are going to be matching up against RCC Thunders, I believe. So, what are your thoughts on that? What are you planning to do in that group?
Yeah, obviously a very experienced team with Vedansh, who is an amazing bowler and batter. He's a really good all-rounder, in my opinion. Abram, obviously, we've seen his potential and his capability for bowling. And then, yeah, Dhruv, we've seen his potential for batting,
Yeah,
that he could be a good batsman.
yeah,
You know, like
best one out there.
we saw the spark in the last
Yeah,
game. So obviously, this is going to be a difficult situation for us. However, for Vedansh, what we have noticed is that a difficulty for him has been spin. And
yeah,
as I said before, like we believe that our spin attack could be really good. As you know, he's tend to overhit spin. So we hope that he'll eventually sort of make a mistake that will really help us. Like a ball that goes up in the air that we can catch. And Abraham's batting, we'll have to see. As you know, from the injury, he even said himself he's a little iffy, and obviously his underconfidence, like he is very unconfident about himself. So if even he himself is unconfident about himself, then I guess we're not really that confident about him for batting, unless he can prove himself again. He's a good batter. He's proven himself that he was a good batter, but right now his unconfidence is sort of like bringing our expectations of him as well down. And then Drew, yeah, we'll see how you fare in the series.
yeah.
Obviously, like
Beat
me, you've had your fair share of inconsistencies in the past, also low scores like me, while also having your bright spots in the future. So yeah, we'll see.
yeah.
For your mistake, I think we think that we will bowl. I mostly spin for you because we believe that the direction of the ball you will mistime it because of how slow it
Oh,
is. So
oh.
we think that you will mistime the spin. Actually, we think the best attack for you is spin bowling. Yes.
Okay. And well, I have one last question. How are you going to cope with high pressure situations in the tournament?
Obviously, yeah, we don't really have obviously high pressure players, which is actually what I think our biggest flaw is. As you know, Nikit in the series batting second, he hit 2 off 7. I obviously hit that one in the series. And then Deepesh in high pressure situation, 1 off 3, he couldn't get it as well in the series. So what I've noticed is the flaw is that obviously we're not very high pressured players. We don't play good under pressure, which obviously needs to be fixed. Obviously, we'll try to fix that issue. We'll try to still stay confident, even though we're at our lowest moments. We'll still keep fighting. We'll never stop fighting for sure. So obviously, we have to fix that issue. Yeah, I will say that that will actually be our biggest issue under high pressure situations. That might actually make us adopt a strategy such as bat first, so we're not under high pressure from having to chase like big scores if the other team gets big scores. So we'll do our best to try and avoid those high pressure situations, as obviously that's where we like struggle the most.
Okay. The I think that is all for us for today. So yeah, Surya, again, thank you for attending the interview on behalf of Nikit. So yeah, yeah, guys. So I think that that's all for today. See you. Catch you later in the next interview. Until then, bye.